Welcome once again back to the lab. It is your old Professor Pilk, and of course, being that the raid is rerunning tonight, I want to talk about 5 Pokemon that we didn't talk about last week that you can still build and bring to this raid. Now, honestly, guys, I usually try to build Mon that most other people haven't talked about, but the first 2 Mon here and even the middle Mon-ish, this is more like 4.5 builds, I've seen people talk about, but I love to, any opportunity that I have that I can flex these Gen 1 shinies, I'm going to do it. If you haven't seen my video on that, I'm actually going to be re-recording that. I'm currently working on it. I am not quite ready to release it, but it is coming very soon. Now, when it comes to the Gen 1 shinies, obviously Mew is just a fantastic all-rounder for this. Psychic type, Psychic Tera, and Shell Bell. And in fact, Mewtwo is exactly the same way. Psychic type, Psychic Tera, and Shell Bell. Now, the difference is in how they're built. Mew is a good all-rounder, so I can really go either way with him. I can go physical attack, I can go special attack. I chose to go physical. Remember, everything he learns is just from TMs. That's it. He doesn't really learn much. Everything he's gonna learn is gonna be from TMs. So we can go wherever we want with him. His stats are 100 across the board. So literally, our imagination is our one limit. So in this situation, I've gone physical attack and I've lowered my special attack because once again, Swampert he's a physical attacker, but he's light on physical defense. He's heavier on the special defense side. In that case, I haven't done any EV training. Actually, I should do some EV training. If I was going to do EV training, what I do is I go HP and attack on him, but I haven't actually done that. And as you'll see here in a minute, it would be nice. It's going to make it easier, but we don't necessarily need to. Move-wise, I've got Swords Dance for the buff. I've got Reflect to kind of mitigate some of the damage. He does have both physical attacks and special attacks in his repertoire, but once we put up Reflect, he's basically going to go back to those special attacks, especially his poison one. Even though we do resist it, it's going to kind of become his mainstay just because it can inflict a status effect on us. Then, of course, Psychic Train to get a little bit of extra damage out, and Psychic Fangs is going to be our main DPS. Great physical Psychic DPS. Wonderful all the way around. Now, Mewtwo's a little different. Mewtwo is a special attacker, and, of course, because of that, I've gotten a little bit lower. Well, okay, he is not a special attacker by nature. He's, once again, neutral. The only difference between him and Mew is that he's a little lighter on defense than Mew is, but he's also heavier on attack than Mew is. He's just a little more slanted in the offensive direction. But I've gone special attack with him because I have the ability to use Psystrike with him, which is a really good special, special psychic attack. So, once again, Reflect, Psychic Terrain, this time Nasty Plot instead of Swords Dance, and of course Psystrike for our main DPS. And with him, I have done EV training. I've got EVs in both defense and special attack. Though as you can see here, apparently I didn't do any, hyper training with him, and that might see how bad that hurts. Let's double check this here. Now, the one thing I will say, their moves you do want to make sure that. Oh, okay. So his defense is hyper trained, so we're good there. Oh, he is hyper trained. Huh. Strange. I don't know why he's a little light in special attack. It won't matter. They're going to be fine. Let's jump in. Let's do the fight. The one thing you will want to know, though, before we go in here is that both of their offensive attacks, because they aren't really, like, heavy-handed in the offensive department, you do need to put some PP ups in those attacks. So when it comes to, with Mew, Psychic Fangs, I've got 3 PP ups in him, so instead of 10 PP, it's 16, and you'll see why here in just a moment. Alright, so as we hop into the battle here, Billy Bolt could actually be a help. Billy Bolt's going to put up Light Screen, and that's going to prevent us from taking too much damage from special attacks, and I am interested to see how it's going to play out. I am going to have to put up my Reflect and kind of mitigate physical attacks, but full disclosure, I have done some EV training here, so that we would be a little more specially defensive. So I did do that between the takes here, but that is, just a thing. Let's go ahead and drop a Psychic Terrain. And now he should do the Terror Orb Theft immediately after this turn. It is based on how much time is left, so I do need to play that a little bit by ear. But I don't want to start my Psychic Fangs until he's done the Terror Orb Theft. Here it goes. Yeah, if I had done that too soon, then we would be in a world of hurt. So I want to go ahead and get that out there. He's done light screen, so that's great. I will need to keep an eye on that because I'm gonna have to put reflect back up, but we're gonna play that by ear. Oh, nice, he's paralyzed. That's perfect. Let's do another Psychic Fang. And we'll do one more here, and then he should put up his barrier. And once his barrier goes up, we should be pretty good to go. Ouch! Or a critical hit. That's like worst case scenario there. Critical hits are bad. Critical hit on a move with 80 accuracy is just kind of like insulting. But it is what it is. Okay. Earthquake did nothing because of our reflect. He's done stat nullification. Let's see, I think... Okay, we have one... Oh, it says, so Psychic Terrain is there. So we're going to have to put reflect back up. Light screen is still up. Okay, we're strong against physical moves, so he should do Earthquake again. Nice. And I'm going to go ahead and Sheer Heal. I might have to take a voluntary L here. We'll see what happens. That happens a lot, but I do need to get to the point where I can start buffing. So, probably going to do a couple of buffs, and then probably have to Sheer Heal, but we'll see. Okay, okay, so I'll take that. That is going to put me back to square one, and I will have a full heal out of that. So, I'll take it. It does suck he got double critical hits on us this far in this early level of battle, but it is what it is. That's life. Just a lot of bad luck happening right now. But lemons to lemonade, or in this case, lemons to combustible lemons, we are going to turn that into 2, if not 3 swords dances, and turn right back on him. So keep that up, dude. Let's go. If you could run this with the belly bolt and utilize that light screen, you'll be much better off for it. Let's do a third swords dance. Now, I will need to see where our reflect sits, and I do want now to drop the terrain, but I think we'll be okay. Oh, the paralysis actually worked out. So reflect is now down. Let's drop a psychic terrain. I do know that Earthquake isn't going to feel great, but it's not deadly. So let's go ahead and Terastallize and just Psychic Fang our way to success. Bam. Now, I did need to get the Psychic Terrain down because it is going to boost our attack 50%, on top of obviously being completely buffed up on the offense side. And even then, with that 5-second loss, I am a little concerned as to how this is going to go down. Okay, but that's fine. Yeah, no, we got this in the bag. This is a done deal. Hopefully you don't get hit with the critical hits, and you can kind of do this without taking the L and losing the 5 seconds. But, you know, it be what it be. I'm at a state now where he can do whatever he wants. No matter what, he cannot out-damage my healing. So, oh, okay. Let me rephrase that. Barring a critical hit again, he can't out-damage my healing, so I'll be good. Alright. Comes another Earthquake. And notice I'm not putting up Reflect anymore. I don't care about Reflect. Reflect has now become a red herring. I'm just eating the damage and then healing it with my Shell Bell. Bam. Nice smooth run. Now, let's see how many PP we have, because in my first few attempts of this, actually, this is about the time I ran out of PP, but I also only got 1 or 2 swords dances off in that run. I got lucky-ish here with the voluntary loss. So, let's see. Okay, I still have 4 PP left. So, yeah, really that voluntary loss might be, like, your biggest asset. But, you know, short-term loss, long... Oh, we got a critical hit! Nice! Nice. Let's go. And we're done. We're done. We literally did this from the time we dropped Psychic Terrain and started doing our attacks, Psychic Terrain stayed in play the whole time. So that was, what, 5 turns? Maybe 6? So, yeah. Every part of me is enthused by that result. Let's go do the Mewtwo run real quick. All right, so taking what we've learned from the Mew run, I've actually put some PP into Psystrike, so we should be good in that front. Also, I could swear there's actually a move that might be better than Psystrike, but I don't know. I might be wrong on that one. We'll see. We'll see. So let's go ahead and open this up with a Reflect, and that's just going to basically cut down the amount of damage. Good news is we have Star Raptor here, so we already have our attack cut down a little bit. Basically, his Intimidate will cut the attack in half, and then Reflect will cut it in half again. So we should be perfectly fine with that. I'm going to go ahead and drop a Psychic Terrain. And that just means while I'm building up my Tera Orb charges, we essentially will just be we'll be doing a little bit more damage each time. And that's going to help our Shell Bell too. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do a Psystrike. Now, we're going to have to do this like 4 times, because I bet she's going to steal our Tera Orb charges after this hit. But notice we're already doing damage. Like, we are already inflicting a decent amount of damage. I'm going to be real, we may not even need... That makes me want to revisit Mew a little bit, because we may not even need to do all the buffing. Let's go ahead and do another Psystrike. I'm really curious what it'll do with just Psychic Terrain and no buffing. Alright, so our Reflect seems to have worn off. Nope, Reflect is still there for 2 turns. That was a heavy hit for having Reflect up. Alright, we'll do one more Psystrike. Now the question is, will we be able to Trash Slice, or do we need to do one more? Because he seems to be skipping the animation, or I'm not paying enough attention, where he is stealing her Tera Orb charges. Alright, so here comes the move nullification. Yeah. So either he did the animation while I was yakking, or I missed it. But I'm going to go ahead and Nasty Plot. Okay. Now, I got to plan this out, because I'm going to drop Reflect one more time. Okay, Reflect is gone, so let's go ahead and drop a Reflect. Kind of knock that attack down one more time. We will eat an attack here. So I'm going to go ahead and Terrastalize and do a Psystrike. Let's go ahead and Terrastalize and do a Psystrike. Thank you. This should give us a good amount of healing. I don't know how much healing we're going to have. I'd like to get 2 more Nasty Plots out. But whether or not that's feasible, only time will tell. With Reflect in play, we should be able to get that. We should be able to get that off, but we'll see. Ooh, look at that damage, though. Good. Great. And he's special defense. Especially defensive. Special defensive? Specially defensive? However you want to word that. So that's just a silly hit. Alright, so here comes the Yawn. We did not grow Drowsy. I wonder if Safeguard is in play. No, just Reflect. So we just got lucky on that one. Sometimes Safeguard's in play by some of your other mons, so that's a thing. So let's go ahead and do another Psystrike. Why the heck not, right? I mean, we're wiping him out, so we'll go for broke on this one. 2, maybe 3 more. We'll see. We'll see how this plays out. I'd love to do 2 more Nasty Plots, because obviously we just be doing that much more damage. We're essentially, like, going shot for shot here. I hit him for 1, he hits me for 1, and we take about the same amount of damage. So, obviously, like, the more Nasty Plots you get out, the better it's going to be, and if we could drop down Psychic Terrain again, it'd be great. But, I don't know. There's Hydro Pump. Let's go ahead and do a Psy Strike again. If he does Hydro Pump, that'd be great, because then if Hydro Pump misses, I would be extremely, extremely happy. Okay. We're a little bit in the danger zone. Let's see how this plays out. Oof, I did literally ask for that. Oh no, the muddy water! Oh man. Now his barrier's down, so we don't necessarily need the terrestrialization. That stinks. I feel like I could have probably planned that a little better and kept my terrestrialization without taking the L there, because muddy water is going to... When he's at 40% health, it's just going to happen. So let's do another nasty plot. So try to work a second nasty, if not third nasty plot in there at the beginning. But once again, you got to do it after his nullification. So let's see what happens here. So it's 2 nasty plots. All right. Nice. Nice, and it missed. Let's go. Nasty plot number 3. And this should be a home run. Yeah, whatever. Oh, and I wonder, too, if it was the... Because Reflect dropped. I bet you that's what it is. I let Reflect drop, guys. That is exactly what happened there. All right, that's cool. Psy Strike. And if we need 2 of these, I'll be shocked. Yeah, there it goes. So, keep your eye on Reflect. That's, I bet, what happened. I bet I let Reflect lapse. And then we got hit. Bro, you're on your... He clung on with, like, half an HP point to make that happen. Yeah, Mew and Mewtwo totally viable for this. Let's check out a few other Pokemon. So in our ongoing builds here that just you can continue to take on this event over and over and over again, Latias and Latios have come to me as an interesting choice. Now, you could acquire these actually through the Blueberry Academy. I'll be covering these next week on the channel. So if you don't have them, it's a great opportunity to get them. Remember, if your Switch is offline, not only can you acquire them, but you'll still have access to the raid, even though the raid is closed. So it's a great opportunity to just get a new unit, test it out. This build is interesting. Now, obviously, Dragon with Psychic with a Psychic Tera. Shell Bell on her, as always. Latios' build is almost identical to this. In fact, I think you can build exactly the same mon and do the exact same thing. So, move-wise, we've got Charm and we've got Reflect. Now, Charm will lower the attack stat. In fact, it does 2 ticks on the attack stat, so it does literally 1/3 reduction on attack. And Reflect will cut any physical attacks in half. So, really, you could just take the amount of damage you're taking down to almost nothing. Then, obviously, we're using Calm Mind as our main buff, and Psychic as our main DPS. Now, one thing I will warn you with this build, because Swampert does have a lot of special defense, we are going to need to do some PP ups on Psychic. So let's go ahead and do that real quick here. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and just increase Psychic up. And we could do this 3 times. I don't think 3 is going to be necessary, but it's the max we can do. So, I mean, why not? We're here, right? Now, Eevee-wise, this is where it's going to get a bit interesting. So, she is a special attacker, and so is Latios. And since Swampert has a lot of special defense, obviously physical attacking would be better. But it's not really, you know, we're going to do better doing a special attack and just kind of lowering his special defense. Now, I believe Psychic has the ability, I could be wrong here. Yeah, it may also lower the target special defense, so if we get lucky, we could lower the special defense. But that will just basically happen once we go into DPS mode. Now, Swampert is a physical attacker, and our physical defense ain't great. However, I put my EVs into special attack and into special defense. So you could go HP. Physical defense. You could go HP. I think physical defense is a better option. It just reduces that damage down a little bit more. HP is good for more like overall builds, but for this very specialized build that I'm doing here, I'm going special attack and I'm going physical defense. You can kind of see the original stats here and how much this actually improves things overall. And as far as natures go, mine dropped with a docile nature, but I used I forget which mint, adamant mint, I think, and it raised special attack, but lowered my physical attack. And remember, physical attack is the only stat we really don't care about, so it just made the most sense, if I'm totally honest here. So, let's go ahead and jump into the fight. So hopping into the battle here, there's a couple things you want to be acutely aware of right out of the gate. Number one, we need to get that reflect up ASAP. With luck, though, we only need the one reflect, and you'll kind of see what I mean here in a moment. Okay, muddy water's not scary. We're not worried about that. All right, let's go ahead and do a reflect. This will cut his physical attacks in half, except for like critical hits. But with any luck, we won't get that. Now, he is paralyzed, but it's not going to be, safer unless he decides not to attack one turn. I don't think it's going to be a huge deal because we're already going to be faster than him no matter what. So the paralysis is just kind of a stopgap measure. We are poisoned, which does kind of suck. But let's go ahead and... okay, he removed some of our Tera Orb Charges, so I'm going to go ahead and do 2 charms. 2. Only 2. The temptation will exist to do a third, but I think a third is completely unnecessary. Now, the unfortunate side is being poisoned. I think this is going to cost us 5 seconds. We'll have to see. I'm going to go and do one more charm, and I'm going to gracefully just take the loss. So that way, essentially, when I come back in, I'll have full health. It ain't going to be fun, but it's just the method I'm going to go with here. So his attack will be down 4 of 6 possible strikes, and now we just kind of want to worry about buffing and getting our paralysis up. Now, he did nullify stat changes, so I'm going to go ahead and go into buffing mode now. Now, good news is our poison is gone, so we don't have to worry about that doing damage every turn. I think that was just kind of a smart move on my part. Let's go ahead, if I do say so myself. Let's go ahead and do a Calm Mind. Okay. There we go. We can just go ahead and do another Calm Mind real quick. Now remember, Charm will not work. Essentially, once he is once his barrier goes up, so we want to keep that in play as much as possible. Now, I'll just kind of show you here in a minute how we're going to make that happen. Okay, I'm going to go and do one more Calm Mind, and I'll show you what I'm kind of eking towards here. Now, I need to terastallize really quick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start attacking. But I want him to keep his... I want him basically to keep his attack reduction down as much as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and do a Psychic attack, but I'm going to attack Belly Bolt. You want to find somebody on your team that either is either super effective against, or at least that you could do some damage against. Now, the nice part is here, you will heal. Now, let me preface this by saying, don't do this with random people on the internet. Do this when you're running this solo, because if you start doing this to random people, you're going to make enemies real quick. Somebody's going to return fire, and the timer's going to go down even more than it already is. But when you're doing this against, just these bots, essentially, it doesn't count against you. And in fact, I'll build up my Tera Orb Charge without ever having to take Swampert's health down any more than it already is. So we'll do one more Psychic. Poor Belly Bolt's going to get beaten up one more time. And notice that Swampert hasn't taken any excess damage. But now we have our Tera Orb Charge. So now we can start hitting Swampert. Okay? He can't hurt us. There's nothing he can do to harm us now. So we'll go ahead and we'll Terastallize, we'll do Psychic, and I'll attack Swampert. Now, the timer is not pretty, but I did lose 5 seconds to, which, I mean, of 60 seconds total, or whatever it is, to basically an unfortunate poisoning event. So we're just going to kind of do what we can do to make up that difference. So, good amount of damage there. That was a critical hit, wasn't it? Was that not a critical hit? Oh, maybe his special defense must have gone down. So, negative effects are removed. So now he'll start doing full damage. But I'm not scared at all. By this point, you should be able to make up any amount of damage he's doing with the amount of damage that you're producing. Now, it seems like his attack is still reduced. Maybe Belly Bolt put back up another Reflect. But you should be able to see every bit of damage he's doing and return it in kind. Here comes the Liquidation. Doesn't scare me at all. Yeah, if we could not waste a lot of time doing just extraneous stuff, that'd be great. There we go. The downside is as your opponents or as your partners are sitting here doing all kinds of weird things, putting up grassy terrain and stuff like that, timer's still going down. So, not much you can do about that. That in and of itself is just a thing. Okay, let's go do another Psychic. And now his barrier's gone. So you should be taking a lot more damage now. Now we only have 3 ticks up on our Calm Mind. So in theory you could Calm Mind attack, Calm Mind attack. I don't think I have the time for that, sadly. I think I've just got to produce what I produce here. So if I had not lost the 5 seconds, that definitely would have been an option. But I am up against the wall here and down to the wire. So let's go ahead and just do a Psychic and see how much damage it takes. Oh, nice. He's burned. And that burn is going to reduce his physical attack quite a bit. Look at that. And that's how much damage we do once his barrier's down. So, good stuff. That. Had I not lost the 5 seconds, we would have been done with this. But here we go. Bam. Fun all the way around. So that's the Latios build. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments. So for this final build, I'm going to go so far outside of the norm, it's ridiculous. And I'm going to once again recommend Hydrapple. Now, this Hydrapple build is stupid, absolutely ridiculous, but it's so much fun. This is not one that you want to do with anybody you like. This is something, well, you don't even want to do this in a group setting. You want to do this only as a solo outing, and you'll kind of see why when we get into the fight. Now, obviously we want to grass Tera, and in this situation we want Metronome. Now, you can kind of already tell what we're going to be doing with Metronome here. But if I go over here to our moveset, we're going to have grassy terrain so we can get a little extra damage out. We're going to have Yawn. That will make more sense when we get into the fight. Giga Drain will be our main DPS. Obviously, I've got my PP ups all the way on that bad boy. And Nasty Plot just to buff ourselves up. Now, this is where it gets really, really important that you build this mon correctly. All of my stats are hyper-trained. So, everything is at top notch. If I go into my EV training here, I have put everything in special defense and speed. A ridiculous build for Hydrapple. Definitely not one you want to initiate. However, for the purposes of this test, special defense all the way up, because the only move he has in his repertoire that will actually damage us is his poison move, which is a special attacking move. We used Reflect on everybody else because it was mostly his physical attacks that we were worried about, but in this situation, he's actually going to use a special attack. Once we knock that down a little bit, it'll be great. The other thing is speed. Hydrapple is a slow Pokemon. However, we need to get our attacks off first. So, not only do I have speed up there, I've also given him a mint that increases his speed. I also, lowered my attack because I didn't want to lower defense or special defense, or obviously special attack either. The only stat that I really could reasonably justify lowering is attack. That's really the only one we could sacrifice. So, with speed up, attack down on our nature, EVs all the way in speed and special defense, we will actually be just fast enough to get our attacks off before Swampert and special defensive enough that we can tank 2 or 3 hits without light screen being in play. How do we get light screen to play? Well, that's actually up to our partner mod. Yes, you are going to have to search around a little bit. I would love for this to be done with our Bolvia, but I find it really hard to recommend finding 2 of the same mod. So I'm looking for a Belly Bolt first and foremost. If you get Belly Bolt and our Bolvia, great. Then you don't even have to use your own Grassy Terrain. You can trust his, and you can replace that with Sunny Day. Fantastic. But good luck on that one. Find a Belly Bolt. Check this out. Okay, so this is the perfect situation for me here. We need Belly Bolt on the team. If I had our Bolvia, that would be even better, but... So I guess it's not perfect, so to speak. But this is what we wanted. So Belly Bolt has a move in his repertoire that he uses frequently that I don't have, and that is Light Screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and open up with a couple of Giga Drains and just kind of try to keep into the fight until he drops Light Screen. Hopefully he does it early. It's a frequent move for him. The main reason we're doing Light Screen this time over Reflect is that most of the move, well, the only move that really he has here is Sludge Wave, and that is a special attacking move. Unlike prior, where we were mostly worried about the physical moves, this is a very special circumstance. So we've got to be pretty cautious about how we handle this situation. Alright, he has been eradicated, so unfortunately, that means Light Screen is not happening. Okay, here comes another Sludge Wave. Bam. Okay. Did a good amount of damage. I don't have any healing on board. So, I'm going to go ahead and do a Yawn. Sounds weird? Follow me here. Okay. Short of him putting up a light screen before he attacks her, I think Belly Bolt's slow enough that he's not going to get that off right away. I think that'll have to happen after we're taken out. There's a strategic reason that I did Yawn right at that moment, though. All right. Now, we haven't done an insane amount of damage to him, but he has now nullified our stat changes. His barrier is up. But check this out. Even though his barrier is up, remember there's 2 main factors at play here. You cannot inflict a status effect when his barrier is up, unless it's part of another move. It cannot be a status move. It has to be an attack first and foremost. Number 1. Number 2. Once his barrier is up, any status effect that is active is disabled. But Yawn was not, Sleep was not active. We yawned. Now he goes to sleep on this turn, as you can see right there. Somehow he's attacking while he's asleep. That seems kind of sus. Whatever. We should have 2 turns where we are free and clear of any damage, and that gives Belly Bolt plenty of time to initiate his light screen, and me to kind of nasty plot and get out my my grassy terrain. So we'll do our 3rd nasty plot here. That'll build us up completely. Ooh. The big downside is that he did not stay asleep long enough. I feel like that first Sludge Wave probably was a bit sus. Oh, he's paralyzed now, though. Oh, well, thank you, Belly Bolt. I'll take that. So, Light Screen is in play for 1 more turn. Why does it feel like that was really short-lived? We'll drop a Grassy Terrain. That'll help us out. We're fully buffed up now. And now we can just start going to town, building up our Tera Orb Charge and whatnot. We really want that Light Screen back up, though. That's going to be a huge help in this. Oh, and of course he hits with a poison. That's okay. That's not the end of the world. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a staple from one of my other fights, and I'm going to go ahead and pick on Sylveon just to get some early health out. Because with his barrier up, we're not going to get that much health from him. Plus, this does twofold. This builds our Tera Orb Charge back up, number 1. Number 2, it also builds our Terastallization up. There's Light Screen, perfect, and then we can pick on Sylveon all day long until we can Terastallize and actually do damage to him. So let's do a Giga Drain. We'll pick on Sylveon again. Excellent. And at this point, we're getting enough health that I don't think his poison is a huge deal. It's not preferable, obviously, but the fact that he's paralyzed is also going to be super nice. So, let's see. Can we Terastallize here? Let's see. Okay, yeah, we can Terastallize, we can Giga Drain, and we can actually pick on Swampert now. And basically what we're going to do is we're just now going to Giga Drain until the end. That's all we're going to do. We've got 3 Giga Drains out. 2, 3, 2, 3. I'm at 3. Let's just say 3. So we're about half built up on that. We've got Grassy Terrain in play. I will not be able to reinitiate Grassy Terrain at this point. Once it's gone, it's kind of gone. That's just kind of part of the course for what we're doing here. Otherwise, you know, we lose the whole purpose of Metronome. But we should be on the north side of any damage he's able to produce, especially with Belly Bolt keeping Light Screen in play. Look, he just can't touch us now. So now we just Giga Drain to the end of the match. And it's that simple. It's really not that big of a deal. So that is how you can build a Pokemon that essentially has no real reason to be in this fight, but we've kind of manipulated the situation so that he's still going to be highly effective and very, very, very good at what he does. So it's a crazy run. It doesn't make any sense. The whole reason I did this is to show you guys, if you really think your way around a problem, you can come up with some wild and crazy solutions to things that you never thought were possible. So while we have been focusing mostly on the psychic Pokemon, obviously, even somebody that's grass, that is by all accounts weak to this Pokemon, can be useful in battle. So think about your strategies, think about your opponents, and think about what kind of attacks are incoming. In the case of him, everybody else was looking at the physical attack. He is mostly focusing on the special attack, which is the only super effective attack against him. There you guys go. Like, comment, share, all that good stuff, and I'll be back with more Pokemon Scarlet and Violet coming up real soon.